Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Bensday with Batgirl and Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hello!
It's been a while. I'm so sorry for missing you last week, but sometimes school's
Yeah,
rough.
it is. But good for you for going back.
Yeah, I know that you were busy yourself last week, getting closer to CitizenCon, right?
Yes, things are a little bit crazy here all around. We're on that kind of 24-hour cycle where we're getting in demos and everybody's making plans for their own particular department. It's all starting to come together. It's a lot of work.
Are we going to see any surprises from the ship people?
There's always a ship.
There's always a ship. Always a ship. You heard it here. I guess it's going to be cold and we're going to need to get on those Polaris Expresses? No, I'm sorry.
The setup does not even make sense because it did not get cold in Los Angeles.
Didn't work.
We had a cloud yesterday and everybody lost their minds.
Do you know what the funny thing is? It's hotter here in Atlanta than it is there right now.
Yeah, we're at like 68 degrees right now. It's nice.
We're at like 95, 93. It's crazy. And you're the ones closer to the desert.
You're in Atlanta. Atlanta is not the most pleasant environmentally.
Atlanta is becoming more and more... It's becoming more and more apparent why it was nicknamed Hotlanta. You figured I'd pick that up in 18 years being here, right?
You got a hell of an airport, though.
Oh, we do. A lot of people pass through it. I know that you guys do occasionally.
Yes.
So last night, I had my D&D session run until midnight, I guess it was, just about. It was pretty cool.
Is that the kind of thing people can find online?
Yeah, they can find it online at twitch.tv or twitch.tv/fantasy roll. But you know, in doing it, I'm trying to roll this into what you all go through. Maybe Sandy sees this more, or maybe the the IT people there or video people. Live streaming, not only is it freaking hard, but it's expensive.
Yes. I would love to do like personal live streams myself, but I cannot afford the setup.
It's crazy.
Yeah. You see people are just playing video games online. That's so stupid. But no, it's incredibly hard, especially just to be compelling. Also, streaming is hard.
And it takes a crew. It doesn't just take one person. So I'm thinking about in the beginning when people were saying things about the live stream, and I'm looking at the cost for myself. It's like, just to get this D&D thing running, I've spent quite a bit of money so far. And I'm looking on the paper, and it's like another $5,000 to do it at the caliber that people want it. And I look at it, and I multiply it going, all right, so everybody talks about, why isn't there a live stream at this? Why isn't there a live stream at that?
It's extremely difficult. There's so much logistics. And, you get something like CitizenCon or Gamescom where you have, 16 different inputs and multiple camera crew. It could be a book.
I'm sure it is. And I really feel for you guys. So what I'm trying to lead up to, folks, is go out to twitch.tv/fantasy roll and watch. We have started using a new piece of software called Wirecast, and that costs a boatload of money. So if you want to help us out, click the little button that says donate, But that's only if you like it. If you don't like it, you don't have to go out there. And Ben, we haven't been together for 2 weeks.
Yep.
And I watched a little bit of today's show, which you're not on the show. I mean, I'm sure people are more than happy to see Chris on there instead of you.
Yeah, if it's a choice between Chris Roberts and Ben Leslie, you got to go to Chris Roberts every time.
But people are going to say, no, Ben, we want you too.
Yeah, it's...
So
I've got a show coming up on Saturday. I will plug my Twitch stream.
What are we doing?
Well, we're playing Wing Commander 2, the entire game, starting at noon Pacific on Saturday. It's going to be a boatload of fun. We'll have Star Citizen giveaways. We'll have some incredibly detailed Wing Commander trivia. We'll have all the some of the gang who worked on the game are going to pop in. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Is it the good old games edition where people can buy it right now? No, sorry.
Yes, you can buy a copy of Wing Commander 2 on Go Games right now. It does not impact my life in any way. You get no money from that. but it's a heck of a lot of fun. And for $6, you get Wing Commander 1 and 2. So buy that now and tune into the stream to see us take on the Kilrathi in the Enigma sector.
Are you doing it for any charity or just doing it to do it?
Just to do it. It's the 25th anniversary. It was actually a stretch goal at one point. We were going to do these RSI Museum pieces regularly. Unfortunately, the company changed a whole bunch, and we don't have so many people who worked on the old games anymore working here. So instead, we've been doing these kind of anniversary live streams where we show you the entire game. We bring in the people who worked on them, and we dye our hair blue and so on.
So now, do you remember one of the biggest innovations of that game? What did they add to it on many, 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 many discs?
We're talking about speech?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the jazz singer of video games.
Yeah, pretty awesome. And that was one of the ones that I played Wing Commander 1 over and over again. I'd already told you about my experience begging for them to come to the Amiga and then eventually going out and building a PC. And then a week later, there being an Amiga AGA version and a CD32 version, which I also swapped, I also went out and bought.
There's a story behind why that took so long. The guy who was chosen to do the Amiga version, Nick Pelling, got incredibly, deathly ill, something like some sort of brain infection or something like that. And he actually said to Mindscape, the people who had licensed the Amiga port, he said, I'm not likely going to be able to finish this. Here's somebody else who can do it. And they said, no, you're the best in the business for Amiga conversions. We're going to wait. So that 1.5-year wait for the Amiga port of Wing Commander 1 was because of a company that had a conscience. So,
that was pretty awesome. Cool. Hey, it made my day because the AGA version of it was beautiful. And that eventually became the enhanced graphics version on the PC. Right?
Well, the enhanced one on the PC... so the AGA one, that's the CD32 edition, right?
It's both. It came out for the Amiga 1200 and the CD32.
Yes. Yeah, so that's the original 256 color graphics that were the VGA version for the PC. The 32 color earlier version for the Amiga was it was a lessening of the PC's graphics, but they did such an impressive job with it that it still looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it did look pretty cool. Well, enough about old stuff. I want to ask you something new. And it's in watching today's video, and sometimes things get dropped in a little haphazard way by somebody from another part of the country. So Austin's talking about the Herald. Mm-hmm. And they said it's the first of our information runners.
I will say that is only that is actually not an indication that there's more. There are no more information runners in the works right now. We would love to do more of them. I will say we've talked about packages for other ships, so maybe make your own 50, do some of that job, that sort of thing. But no, not an indication that any of the ships that are in the works right now are information runners.
But that ship is quite possibly one of the most capable for that. When you look at it, it's not only got the bigger data banks and the secondary, the person to work on collecting the data, but it has the ability to fly faster than any other ship back and forth to the points where it has to pass over that information.
It's great in a straight line.
Are we going to see any kind of that gameplay making it into 3.0?
I don't know about 3.0 specifically. You're going to see courier missions first and then the data stuff later. In fact, we're working on we're going to do a brochure for the Herald, and I think we just outlined it 2 days ago, and we decided to go with its courier role more than the hackery stuff. So you'll learn about the courier stuff next.
Okay, awesome. Is there any way for you to tell us if 2.6 is going to make it out before or after CitizenCon?
I can't say.
You're close.
Yeah, I can't even say that. Okay. I don't want to touch release dates. We would love for it to already be out. Okay. But that's true of every release.
All right. Well, Brent Russell sent in a question. He wants to know. I've got 2 questions that concern things that we heard about in the past, but haven't heard much about as of late. And this is probably a question because he's seen some of the ships grow in size. Will the Idris be able to land on planets? It was initially said that it would be the largest landable ship.
That's still in the plans, yeah, that it would be able to land on planets.
Oh, wow, that would be pretty cool. Secondly, I thought refueling was going to be implemented once the Starfarer was flight ready. Will we be seeing refueling in 3.0?
Can't promise 3.0 features, but it's not insanely far away.
Okay. I look at that Starfarer and I'm looking for every way when I go inside of it to redesign it to turn it into a floating microbrewery. I mean, you got all the all those tanks could be, fermenting. I mean, weightless fermenting a beer, that has to be something that's good, right?
I have a feeling that the Russians have probably done it. I bet there was like a still on one of those salute stations.
Do you really think?
Yeah, I would imagine.
Wow. Maybe
you always read about this for like, oh, and yeah, they have a rifle for shotgun for chasing off wolves when they land. Okay, they're different than us.
All right. So there's somebody giving you a good work, and it's from Jens Wiederhold. I think that's how you say it. And he's saying in Arena Commander, the game feels fluid and fun to play. In the baby PU, we have latency issues, frame drops, and so on. Do you think the PU will ever feel as smooth and precise as Arena Commander does right now?
That is certainly the goal after all the optimization is done. The PU limits the frame rate based on server-side concerns, so it is a lot less smooth than Arena Commander at the moment. But Arena Commander gives you a pretty good example of how it can work.
Does Arena Commander give us a much better example of how it works for, let's just say, for Squadron 42, since that's more of that compressed universe?
None of that is a concern for Squadron, since it's not online, it's not massive multiplayer. So Squadron's frame rates are not limited by server stuff.
Okay. Now, this is from Nightlord. The automated landing system is coming along rather nicely. I have to agree with that. Thumbs up, much better than it was in the beginning, and I'm not cursing at landing anymore. The ships, however, are missing a key feature that would go a long way in helping to prevent mishaps, such as hard landings and damaging impacts. Can we expect the landing gear of our ships to eventually be modeled with shock absorbers? You said Russian, so like Russian fighters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the sort of incremental improvement you'll see with landing.
Okay.
You go.
And then he said, I have an awesome idea that only you could help us achieve concerning wreck. And he's saying this, could you pitch to Chris for us an in-game store that would allow us to purchase in-game flair and gear such as t-shirts, or maybe platinum textured ship models very similar to a store that you would find inside large arcades such as Dave & Buster's. This could become a rec sink very quickly, and if you were and if there were hanger flare items that could only be bought using rec, it would surely draw more people into the Alpha PU.
That is a pretty good idea. I will pass that along. I can see that working pretty well.
See, I was just looking for a rec to UEC conversion rate, but, who knows. Concerning air traffic control, will there be a system built around guiding players to and from landing or docking pads? And has any thought been given on how to entice players to follow these waypoints or remain within bounding boxes?
I would say there will certainly be more rules for that sort of thing as we go along. I don't know if it'll be quite a total simulation of an air traffic control, but there will be a little bit more law and order as we go along.
Okay.
It's very wild west right now. Even as we very, very start to introduce reputations and so on, but a lot more. There are many more rules to put in place for how you fly around somewhere like Port Olisar in the finished world. Okay.
It's going to be easier on an uninhabited planet. You just set down and land.
Yes, planets are very big.
Yeah. So do you think, this is from me, do you think we'll see a rework of the hangar eventually to have the centerpiece that you fly down be more like the runway of a airfield, and then have the ship set off to the side? That way, I don't know how important the hangar is going to be. right now it seems like we're going up to space stations and stuff, but if we're putting our spaceships in line and we're using the hangar to launch from, wouldn't it be easier to have them on the side, come to the center, and then go out?
Possibly, although I know that going into the hangar, I think with both reworks of it, they've had a very particular vision as to how the ships actually get out, which we'll see. So I don't think it'll be a massive change to the hangar.
Okay, I thought it was quite perfect the way that the tutorials did it, where you would come up, go to the center, and then raise. That was pretty awesome.
I remember one of our very first design meetings was about this back in Austin, that tiny conference room that was about the size of my desk right here. And I just remember, I think it was Eric Peterson, he kept showing these Japanese garages where the like lifts the ship out and drive away or something. So I thought it was really cool.
Okay. Colonial Movers is from Marcus. Mover Marcus. He wants to know, I gotta turn off my beeping sounds over here or people are gonna beep me. Sorry folks, you know who I work for and you know what tomorrow is. So I'm getting messages from everybody that wants me to do something. So for Marcus, it says, question for Ben.
Sometimes you're getting messages when the system works.
Don't start with me, Ben. We can take care of that phone you have.
Let me just send you a picture of a thumb making explosion thing for no reason.
Wait, can you actually do that? I don't know. We'll let that go. But I'm going to start asking questions in a second. Just let me get through this. All right, question for Bensday. In 2013, there was a comlink post about multiple packages and the option to create your own NPC crewman with the extra packages that people had. Are there new developments on that front, and should that comlink post perhaps be updated now that there are packages only with Squadron 42 or Star Citizen?
We can look at the comlink to see if we can update it. No change to announcing, actually setting up NPCs yet. It's still in the future, but definitely something on our minds. Okay,
and this is a question I keep getting, and I thought we answered it, but I went back and listened to last show, and I think we failed to answer it.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, in 2013, there was a Veterans Day Hornet upgrade.
No question was good that begins this way.
Oh no, this is Marcus. All right, Marcus either asks the question that you could answer, or he asks a question that's funny. In this case, I believe it's one that you can answer. Oh my God, there's 483 in that volunteer group. 483 messages today. I went to 3 classes. Sorry, folks. It says, in 2013, there was a Veterans Day Hornet upgrade kit that visually will change the 4 different Hornet variants into the F7A. Visually. There seems to be some confusion what this will do now. Will this kit make those variants look more like the Mark 1 or the Mark 2 F7A?
The Mark II, there's not an in-universe difference between the ships. We just have redone the hero ship for Squadron, so it will make it look like the ship in Squadron.
What are you going to do for the people that are upset that want the original one? The lower res version that was in the demo.
Well, we can't have everything we want, and I can't imagine anyone actually wanting that either. I will say, check out the Vault this week, subscribers. It's all F7A or F7A, new F7A shots this week. So, vault it up.
Are we gonna have to wait for Squadron 42 to see the F8?
No, we've been talking about a different way to bring that and the F7A into the universe. So we'll stay tuned.
No, I mean the F8.
Yeah, the Lightning.
So is that, and now in the beginning, the first time you and I talked about this, which is at this point 3 years ago, when I did our first video, that ship was never going to be sold to people back then. Is that now changed? Are you going to put that up for sale for people eventually?
I think it's possible. Its role in Squadron has changed a bunch since then. So it's it's a thought. We'll see what we do with it. I don't know if it would be literally, hey, everybody buy this ship, but it may be more of a promotional thing. Or we'd like to give people a way to try it out at least.
Okay. Now, we've seen a move from the design phase, the Terrapin being Aegis and moving over to Anvil. Mm-hmm. Does that mean we might see a change from Hurricane moving from Anvil over to Aegis? And what role is the Hurricane going to take?
Let me see what the Hurricane's looking like right now. I think we've already gone into concept art, and so it's not likely to change.
So you'll be able to tell which design group it's from?
Yeah, it's going to stick with Anvil.
It is?
Yeah.
And do you know what role that's taking on since you are the director of ships?
I know, but I'm not going to say. And I think just acknowledging that the Hurricane exists is probably overstepping right now.
I don't think you could fire yourself, though, can you?
Someone can.
I don't think you're going to piss off Chris.
No. People already knew about the Hurricane. It was on that list that leaked on an ATV a while back.
Yeah, and it was also way, 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 way back on the in the Anvil company profile. No,
that's right, and it was one of the ones you could vote for, wasn't it? I think it's the only one that we haven't said we're doing yet. It was the Terrapin or the Dragonfly or the Prowler or the Hornet or Hurricane, I think so.
Hey, living with my best friend who's a Brit, having something named after one of their famous aircraft from World War II is great. I mean, getting a Spitfire would be awesome since we have a Mustang.
I remember chatting with Rob early on and saying, there's three names that it's very hard to give a ship in your universe. Mustang was one of them, and we managed that. Yes. Spitfire was another, and then Enterprise, of course. So
Enterprise you can stay away from. As long as you go with a tiger's claw somewhere, we're fine. No, just not a Concordia. I didn't like the way that thing was blown up on the planet.
That was already in Star Citizen. It was in the extended 300i trailer. They fly over the Concordia.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome, right? Wow, it's just awesome how he's just like teasing EA. Sorry, EA. You should give Wing Commander back to Chris. Start a petition, folks.
Guarantee you no one at Electronic Arts has any knowledge that is a Wing Commander reference.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't.
I doubt they even realize they own it anymore.
Probably. Well, I saw some blog stuff about it, about them trying to think about how to bring that back, and turns out it was like from people, not from the company itself.
Yeah, I would love to bring Wing Commander back. After Star Citizen's done, Electronic Arts, you want to give it to me, I'll make you a hell of a game if you happen to be watching this video.
So will you be able to give Vanduul Veronica a Vanduul wingman that changes sides, kind of like Hobbs?
Did Hobbs really change sides, though?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now, there were some other Kilrathi traders. There was a scientist who brought over the cloaking tech and the specs for the jockey. Yeah. There's one in one of the CCG cards. There was a guy in one of the Wing Commander Academy episodes. So there was some treason.
There was. Mm-hmm. And obviously there's some treason from the UEE over to the Vanduul, Miss Vanduul Veronica. So we can look at both.
We'll be learning a lot more about the Vanduul with Squadron and Beyond. Wing Commander started off with the Kilrathi as this almost faceless, generic enemy, and then drilled down. You're going to see that, and it's going to be a lot more intentional. So.
It was better than the bugs you fought in the last couple of Wing Commanders.
Yeah, Prophecy and Secret Ops. They had a good plan for those. They were supposed to be like the expendable warrior race for this. Yeah, they had this whole multi-part arc that never happened. But,
sad. Last questions I have are going to be based on what used to be my favorite ship, the Origin Jump Works 300 series, specifically the 325A. Mm-hmm. There was some talk about that getting a redesign or a relook. Have you guys taken a look at it to see what you're going to do with the interior and how that ship might change in functionality?
It has not gotten its look yet. I know they just kicked off the actual work on the Cutlass, so I think it'll be a little bit after that.
That's good. I know that was a very popular ship. I saw a lot of people with 325As for a while when Arena Commander first came out. Now,
It will definitely make a comeback once it gets a sexy modernizing pass.
Awesome. And a interior that works, I hope.
Yes, I do know they were talking about the bed, actually, and how to change how it retracts or something. So,
well, I have a question about weightlessness and beds. How does that work? Do I have to have a magnetic blanket to hold me down to it?
Well, no, because weightlessness doesn't mean you float away. It just means you stay in one place. So, just Velcro pants should do it.
Velcro pants. All right, you heard it here. Velcro pants coming to... Which one of the places would that be sold in? Dumpster Depot or in Casaba?
Casaba, yeah.
No, I bet you that's the one you have to go over to the meth head over in whatever it's called, Grimhex. The guy looks like he's strung out.
Now that you do make a good point about kind of ship design in our game, but in kind of all science fiction, it doesn't actually make sense that ships would be designed along one plane. You would be like the space station where when you go to bed, you would Velcro yourself to the wall or the ceiling.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit harder to express that in the game. So.
Yeah, it makes sense. All you have to do is say to use the bed, you got to sit down on the moon with a little bit more of that gravity.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, thank you so much. I will see you next week, pending you're not working 24/7 again.
All right, and I would encourage everyone to tune into your Dungeons & Dragons live stream on
twitch.tv/fantasy roll.
Fantasy roll.
And I think I'm going to bring it back to my original YouTube channel. I mean, it's like some people just get so upset that I have other content besides Star Citizen on my channel. And it's tough to start a whole new channel just for one show.
It is.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty fun. If you guys don't play, you play tabletop games.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're fun.
Yeah, and I would say to everybody, there is life outside Star Citizen. So many parts of this community have interesting things they bring to it. Everybody should go out and experience those things. Do tabletop, do wargaming, do all that stuff that's just fun and cool, and you can still be with friends.
And I do know somebody that's trying to make a Star Citizen tabletop game. So when that happens, that will be fun. That would be fun. Well, folks, thank you very much for joining us today. I'm going to let Ben get off to his afternoon duties of everything. Is that about right? Everything?
Oh, I've got a big test coming up in 20 minutes or so.
Oh, that's right. The inner office.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that. What's your favorite weapon right now? Do you have one?
I don't really. I am so terrible at first-person shooters. I'll just take whatever the Doom taught me to just fire whatever the highest number gun is.
Yeah, I stayed far away from asking you questions about the Marine, Star Marine right now, because I figure let's get a couple weeks closer to the release so you have answers.
I love the what was it? The crossbow. Yes.
Oh, we're getting our crossbow?
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh,
sorry.
I'm telling Richard. I'm going to tell Richard I want my money back. No. Yeah, that's right. Go look at Richard's game, Richard Garriott. That's a great game.
If you'd like to see Richard Garriott in person, he'll be talking about space at the Explorers Society in New York this weekend.
Awesome. I love Richard Garriott.
Just plugging other people's stuff now.
Richard Garriott is awesome. Okay, so we're letting it go too far. We're falling down a rat hole. All right, folks, I will talk to you soon. Don't forget to watch. I have a what to do if you're new to the PU up right now. And we will talk to Ben again next week. Ben, thank you for joining us.
Good thing.
And with that said, you all be sorry. You all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.
Watch Wing Commander 2 live stream.
Yes, watch Wing Commander 3 live stream. 2. Wing Commander 2.